Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Hey, we already did say Hail Satan last time, so I gotta do something different. We have Satan mode, everyone! Let's go! Hello, everyone. Thank you for turning into Team Forbidden's YouTube page. It is I, Scott, otherwise known as Seto Summon the Fanatic. Lucemon deck update. Took it to locals, played a few rounds, and made some minor adjustments here and there. Learned some new ins and outs of the deck. Got the new support. It actually plays a lot better than I thought. I was gonna say this deck is really more of like a tier 2 than a tier 1 deck, but I'm thinking maybe 1.5. It's if you know how to play it, the deck is really annoying to fight. I gave my opponents a really hard time trying to beat me tonight. But yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. Some significant changes have happened from the last time we had this deck on the channel. We literally have the full line now. So let's get into it. All right, first off, for our Digi-eggs, we are running the 4 copies of the Cupimon from BT19. There's not really any reason to run either of the yellow ones. Your security can get stupid crazy, but you also don't always want to hatch in the breeding area all the time, even though you're running the whole Uko package. The inheritable is literally just by trashing a card in your hand, gain a memory, combine this with the mat, gain 2, and do other shenanigans from there. Why do we run this one? Because it's a purple source, and it works with our new option card. Alright, that's it. Only the 4 eggs. You don't want to run 5 in here, because sometimes you want that breeding area empty for the Lucemon Larvae. We'll get to that in a few moments. All right, for our rookies, we have a whopping 14 of them. So we have 4 copies of the Lucemon from EX6 on player start of main. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Add a 3 Great Angels or Angel, Archangel, or 7 Great Demon Lords from your hand. Trash the rest. End of your turn once per turn. You can place a level 6 Digimon that you control on top of your security, and it can Digivolve into Chaos Mode from your trash for free. Oh yeah, and if you don't have a level 3 or lower Digimon on the field, you can hard play it for only 5, because it reduces the play cost by 5. 4 copies of the new Lucemon from BT18. It's got the same end of turn as this one, but its start of main, or on play effect, is by trashing a card in your hand, your opponent may trash the top card of their security. If this effect didn't trash, recover 1. The downside of this one is always going to cost 10 unless you're playing it off of Cherubi Ace or off of any of your other effects. So that's the downside. I don't have the alts for this one yet. I'm working on getting them, but this card is really, really nice. And look, Ukomon. Ukomon is in the art. He's literally in the art of the card. Just makes it even better. We also have, we're still only running the 1 copy of the BT4 one. I've seen a lot of people cut this card. Some of them run 2, but it's relatively standard. This thing can't Digivolve, but if you have 10 cards in your trash, you can just play it for 5 because it reduces the cost by 8. And on play, recover. This is a guaranteed recover no matter what. To round off, we've got the 4 Ukomons from BT16. Push it out of the breeding area, or when a Digimon moves from breeding to battle area once per turn. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add a Digimon or Tamer there to your hand, and then bottom deck the rest. And 1 copy of the promo Ook, because having that extra memory is very, very, very nice. Not to mention, you can swing with the Ooks, and if you've got a Lucemon in hand, and the Ook dies in battle, you just trash the Luce, gain the memory, and then you can just gospel into the Luce into your freshly hatched Digi-egg. So that's Combo Guide 101 for Lucemon. Into the 4s. There are none, because we don't have any 4s. We cheat into our 5s. Starting off with 4 copies of the new boy. Lucemon Chaos Mode. Why is it not called Fall Down Mode like a Funimon? I have no clue. Anyway, Lucemon Chaos Mode. This one, on player when Digivolving, your opponent may delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. If this effect didn't delete, recover 1 and trash the top card of your opponent's security. This one has a protection effect where all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, by trashing your bottom security card, it doesn't leave. So they try to bottom deck it, they try to bounce it, they try to delete it. No. Trash that bottom security and it stays. We are also running 3 copies of the old Lucemon from EX6, which has the exact same on-player when digivolving as the new one. So I like that they are having a lot of the consistency with this stuff, where they have similarities between the effects. Like, for the example, these guys both have the Digivolve from Cupimon for 5 and the exact same end of turn effect. These two have the exact same on-play effect. You kill one of your guys, or if you don't kill anything, trash your top security and I recover 1. And this one has the all turns when it would leave the battle area. You bottom deck a Lucemon from your trash or under as its Digivolution cards, and then you play a level 6 card with 7 Great Demon Lords in its traits, or Lucemon Satan Mode. We'll get to Satan Mode in a few moments. To round off our 5s, we are running 1 copy of the Lucemon Chaos Mode from BT7. Arguably, this should be a 4th copy of this, but one of my friends and I talked about the stuff, and we both agreed we think that 1 copy of this card is somewhat mandatory. The unfortunate thing is these both digivolve from Lucemon specifically for 6. This one has to digivolve to it for 7, and unfortunately it can only digivolve from the hand, so you can't use Gospel's other effect to go into it. Once it's in the trash, it stays there unless Dead or Alive pops up. But the nice thing is this thing on player when digivolving deletes an opponent's Digimon or, a Tamer, or one of their Digimon that is level 6 or lower. Can't touch level 7s, but you've got other stuff to deal with the level 7s. And very late game, you can drop this guy for very, very cheap, and then just throw Lucemon X on top of him. He's a guaranteed deletion of a Tamer or a level 6 or lower Digimon, which is very nice to have and nice to have the threat for. Into the 6s. We are running 3 copies of Lucemon X-antibody. Ooh, this guy is deceptively super powerful. He may not seem all that threatening at first glance, aside from, the 14 play cost and the 14,000 DP, but he digivolves from any level 5 or higher Lucemon in name for a cost of 3. Yes, that includes other copies of himself. He is one of only 2 Digimon in the game that can do that. The only other one which kind of does that is Magnamon X versus the BT9 one and the BT16 one. This and Omnimon X from BT5 are the only ones that can go on top of themselves with the exact same card number currently. So what does this thing do? Well, all turns once per turn, when this thing would leave the battle area, if a card with Lucemon is in its evolution sources, by trashing the top card of both player securities, this Digimon doesn't leave. Yes, that is exceptionally evil. And end of your turn, once per turn, your opponent may trash their top security card. If this effect didn't trash, recover 1 and delete one of their Digimon or Tamers. This gives them the choice of trashing a security card. Satan Mode does not. This also only triggers at the end of your turn. That's just something else that you have to go with. That end of turn effect is so brutal. It is really, really messed up. And eventually, your opponent will run out of security cards. You basically just play the waiting game with this deck. See if your opponent can make a whole bunch of plays off of a whole bunch of memory. Ideally, you give them a lot of memory early when they don't have a very big hand. And basically capitalize off of controlling their board from there. But yeah, 3X. I'd try to find room for 4, but 3 seems to be good enough for right now. 3 copies of Lucemon Larvae. I also want to run 4 copies of this card, but this thing is a brick. This is the true form of Satan. It's in that little sphere, as you can see, and it has a security effect this is ideally what you want to put on top of your security with Lucemon to warp into the Chaos Mode in the trash. So, security. You may play 1 Lucemon from your trash without paying for the cost. It has a breeding effect as well, which is all turns when one of your Lucemon Satan Mode would leave the battle area. By moving this Digimon to the battle area, they don't leave. And then all turns, while you have a Digimon with Lucemon in this name that is not white, your 0 DP Digimon cannot be deleted. This thing is immortal. As long as you have another Luce out that is not a copy of him. It's immortal, I tell you. But yeah, you run 3 of this because it's kind of a brick at 4. It's a 6 cost hard play, and it's also the only 0 DP Digimon that just says, yeah, no, I can't be deleted by having my DP reduced to 0. It's nice. It's very, very, very nice. But we also have a few other 6s as well to cater to some of the other plays. So we have 4 3 Great Angels cards in here, 2 Cherubi Ace. Basically, the idea behind this is DP minus control. You blast this over your Chaos modes and then play out a Luce, or you just hard play it and then play a Luce and then just go into your Chaos mode from your trash from there. Again, ideally, you do this when you're in like the early stages of the game. So that way you can give your opponent 10 memory and hopefully they won't have anything to do with it. Your other Blast Evolution, and also a 3 Great Angels because of the rule, is Shadow Seraphimon. If it hasn't been made apparent on the channel, the reason I'm playing this deck is I have a thing for Fallen Angels. There it is, I've said it. It's the Shadow Seraphimon. Oh, and it's a vaccine like the other ones. Nope. Reusing that joke, this is a virus. Like they all should be. But what does this thing do? We don't have regular Seraphimon in here, so it can Digivolve from that or a Sephirothmon with Mercurymon in the traits for 4. So you can cheat it on top of 4 in Black Hybrid if you run over in Black Hybrid. But Hand Counter Blast, Digivolve. It's got Blocker as well. On player, when Digivolving, de-Digivolve 3 one of your opponent's Digimon. This thing saved my ass so many times tonight. Blast on there, alright, cool. De-Digivolve 3. Alright, cool. Block, minus 5k. Because whenever an attack target is triggered, when attack target is changed, you minus 5k something. This thing is so good. This thing is absolutely bonkers. And we also have the Beelzemon as well, because this is basically your other level 6, 7 Great Demon Lords. This thing dies or gets removed, bottom deck Luce, play this, rush for game. You have to have that threat there, and it also de-Digivolves, so yeah, all the good stuff. And if you have to, you can just Digivolve this over here for 3 as well, and then it'll do that as well, and you just slap Satan mode on top of that, and boom. Alright, that's it for the 6s. Into the 7s. 2 copies of Satan mode. What does Satan do? Well, it Digivolves from Lucemon Chaos mode for 6. So you warp from your 5 into this. So the whole strategy of Luce is you skip levels from 3 to 5 to 7. And then you just can hard play it off of this one too. So it's basically what it comes down to there. Now, let's go back to talking about Satan mode quick. So, when Digivolving, by placing 1 Lucemon Larva from your trash into your empty space in your breeding area, without paying for the cost, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Why this is just when Digivolving and not also on play, I have absolutely no idea. They literally made it after this card. There is no excuse. It's dumb. It should have been on play. Maybe if they make a second one, they're going to make it an on play so that way it actually works with this. But this thing is still a threat. You're just not going to have the protection from Larva if you hard play it. Also, the other funny thing, you can slap a Lucemon X on top of Lucemon Satan mode. And then you still have the Digimon with Lucemon in name, so everything else is live. It's stupid, and I love it so much. But this thing, end of all turns, so not just yours, trash your opponent's top security card, not optional. So they have to do it. And then, if this effect didn't trash, delete one of your opponent's Digimon and one of their Tamers. End of turn, alright, trash your stuff. Are you able to get rid of this? No. Well, sucks to be you, sir. Looks like you're using that Tamer, and you're losing that body, and You have no security left. A game. Satan is absolutely evil. This card is beautiful. It's fantastic. You don't need more than 2, though. I see a lot of decks running 3. I don't think that's correct. You can try running, minor spoiler alerts, I'm not running Calling from Darkness in here. You could try running that, but I don't think you need it. 2's enough. 2's all you need. Into the Tamers. 3 copies of Mochizuki, excuse me. On play. This is basically, it's here because it's basically Missed Memory Boost. You could probably make these Missed Memory Boosts if you like, but I like having something, 1, that I can search with the Ukomons. 2, this thing combos and can steal the opponent's turn. So if you play one of the 2 colored Lucemons with Dead or Alive, or if you play Lucemon X off of Lucemon Chaos Mode, you can suspend these and gain a memory for it and effectively end their turn, which is very, very nice. You do need a memory setter because you're giving your opponent a lot of memory, and sometimes you want to make sure that you're not giving them too much. Matt is the best memory setter for this deck. The only other memory setter that you might want to consider in here is maybe the BT19 Kari, just because you are recovering and putting a lot of stuff in security. The difference is, and the reason why I think this Matt is better, is because the Kari only occurs during your turn. This happens during either player's turn. So, say you combo this with the Cupimon, essentially. So, let's say you have a Cupimon with, say, an Ukomon on top of it. The Cupimon either swings and dies, or it gets deleted by some effect. You trash a card in your hand to gain the memory off a Cupimon, and since you're trashing a card in your hand for an effect, you suspend the mat. You're getting 2 memory off of that. This deck is not very memory efficient, so you need as many different ways of making it as close to memory efficient as possible. Alright, into the option cards. We are running 4 copies of Gospel of the Fallen Angel. I'll be honest with you guys, in my initial drafts of the deck, I did not value this card enough as a 4 of. And I've seen a lot of other lists that also do not value this card either as a 4 of, or sometimes at all. I honestly think this card is the heart and soul of the deck, and you need 4 of it. I was originally running 4 copies of the X option card, which we'll get to in a few moments, and tonight, after testing, I switched it up. So now I'm only running 3 of this and 4 of this. So what does this card do that makes me think it's a 4 of? Well, first thing is, main, your Digimon in the breeding area may Digivolve into a Lucemon from your trash without paying the cost, then play this card in your battle area. That's why you run the purple Cupimon, because the purple Cupimon is purple, so it will meet the color requirement for Gospel, which will then Digivolve your Lucemon into yellow. Its delay effect, main, delay. By Digivolving your Digimon, one of your Digimon with Lucemon in name, into a Digimon card with Lucemon in its name in the trash with the Digivolution cost reduced by 3, trash one of your opponent's option cards in the battle area. Currently, this is the only card in the game that does this. Until Justimon does it, you know, the BT19. So this is the only way of dealing with, oh, you have they have that memory boost that's sitting there. Oh, they have that training that's sitting there. Oh, okay, I've got this set up. Oh, I've got the Chaos Mode in trash. Let me just Digivolve into that for 3. That option card, trash that. You don't get the benefit of it. And this Digivolves from trash. You do a lot of milling and a lot of hand trashing in this deck. So it's pretty easy to set this card up. And if it pops up in security, you just place it in the battle area. Unfortunately, it doesn't do something like... I wish it played a Lucemon from trash and then placed itself in the battle area, but that would have probably been a little too good. But, I mean, Luce is already a very expensive, both money-wise and effect-wise deck. So, anyways, 4 of this. I don't think you run any less, although I've seen some decks run a lot less. I started at 2. I then upped it to 3. And the other thing to mention is it's got 7 Great Demon Lords in traits. So you can just search this off of the EX6 Luce. So does this card, which is 7th Divine Cruise. So 7th Divine Cruise is when it's in the trash, When your Digimon digivolves into Lucemon X-antibody, by returning this card to the bottom of your deck, your opponent may trash their top security card. If this effect doesn't trash, recover 1. The main effect for it, and it's a yellow-purple, so you need purple and a yellow source in order to get it off, is delete your opponent's Digimon until they have as many as you have security cards. If this effect deleted, recover 1. Unfortunately, it doesn't do it for every Digimon that you delete, but normally you're just trashing this with your effects, so that way when you go into X, you bottom deck it and then do other stuff. If it pops up in security, you can just play a Lucemon from trash. Why Lucemon specifically and not just any Digimon with Lucemon in name? I don't know. They were really, I guess they were really scared about how powerful this deck would be. I mean, Lucemon's already a 10k rookie, so I guess. But yeah, it does actually come up. So if you have 0 security, this is a board wipe. And then you recover after that. It's dumb. To round off the deck, we have 3 copies of Dead or Alive. I also valued this card a little bit higher initially, but the problem is it doesn't have 7 Great Demon Lords in the trash. But this is easily the best thing that you want to hit to be hit in security. And if you combine it with the Makos playing, you know, the fall down modes, you can essentially turn this into a 5-cost option if you have all 3 of them out. And if you've got 10 or more in trash, you can also just play any Digimon with Lucemon. So that includes the Satan mode, that includes the X, that includes, I mean, you could play the Larva, but if you don't have anything out, you're not going to want to play the Larva. But yeah, it's more importantly, you just play the level 3s. The idea before was you play this one and then just recover something off of it. Or you just play the fall down mode from BT7 and kill something. But yeah, that's the Lucemon deck profile. It's actually really fun and really, really powerful. It can be a little slow if you don't have the right cards, and you're going to be giving your opponent a lot of memory. But it's really, really fun to play if you're really a control. You just have to play. It's a control deck. It's not an offensive deck. You're gonna be playing the waiting game a lot. So it's I guess my synopsis of the deck. It's a more evil security control, and security control is already evil as it is. But guys, that's the deck profile. I do have a couple of other ideas for this deck. There's a yellow-based version of the deck, but I don't think it's all that good. One of the versions that I am thinking about and cooking in the back of my head is a 7 Great Demon Lords version of it, which uses the Agudamon and the Gate of Deadly Sins. If you guys would like to see that and how that plays out, comment below and let me know. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications, and we will catch you guys later. Hail Satan!